All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening around the world. It is Saturday, October the 6th in Calgary, which is a sunny day. It's -4 though, and our 15 inches of snow has kind of melted to some degree here. So we're going to do a great little short presentation this morning to bring people up to speed on a few things that we've been up to at Crypto Cash Nation. And then I want to show you a little bit about the money markets, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. So in the back office now, if you go to the Education Center, and it brings you to this area here, if you clicked on Crypto Theory and Introduction to Dash, there's a brand new video we've just put in here that is very good, most impressive. It's not started because I haven't looked at, well, I haven't looked at it from here yet, but Introduction to Dash and Why. So let's just play this. It's a couple of minutes long and a great intro from CryptoZ.
Hi, so why Dash? And it's a good question and thank you for asking. So Crypto Cash Nation decided to go along with Dash because first, we think it's an excellent cryptocurrency. And number two, it does serve our purpose, at least at this stage, better. Why I'm saying that? Because it's from the day-to-day transactions, Dash is still more kind of user-friendly, and probably it will be one of the best cryptocurrencies on a day-to-day basis, like Litecoin and others. And probably because of the Bitcoin Cash challenges, so the infightings among the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash followers, it didn't really help last year in terms of just the user friendliness of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is great, and we have no doubt that Bitcoin will find its place. But we got to have something that can be used on a daily basis. And Dash is free to use in that case, and our courses are free as well. So in order to demonstrate, illustrate what blockchain is, what a cryptocurrency is, and all the wallet functions, the private keys, the public keys. Even Dash has a wonderful feature, it's called the master node, which is not a feature of every cryptocurrencies, but Dash has it. So it gives you now a flavor, at least what you can expect in the future. And it's the top 20, 50 cryptocurrencies for many, many years, even depending on the market cap. But the upcoming changes in Dash with the new system, with the Dash evolution, which is about to happening in Q4 2018, I believe it will be a game changer. Why I'm saying that? Because we used to use the normal, regular online banking system. So Dash evolution will delete or kind of reform, transform the encrypting feature of Dash, and we'll be using just normal names, first name, last name, or even nickname. So it will look like as a normal online banking system. And I believe it will be really a game changer for mass adoption as well. So basically that's about it in a nutshell, why we went along with Dash. You will not regret that at all. It is globally acceptable everywhere in the world. It's a very solid cryptocurrency, and it will be with us for many, many years to come. Thank you.
All right. That's a nice little video there from CryptoZ. And again, we get that right from our training center. There you go. I've seen it now, so it says resume. So that's good. That's another feather in my cap as far as the training center is concerned. And again, we get that right from the training center in the educational center here in the back office of Crypto Cash Nation. So what I want to do right now then is let's whip over here to a keynote presentation that Zoltan and I have been sort of playing around with here, the money markets and what's going on within the money markets and how much cash or currency or whatever you want to call it is in these markets here. This is from a really neat website we found So let's just go right through this here. This visualizing works like this. Each one of these little black squares, or each square, represents $100 billion in currency, which is a lot. So what does 100 billion look like? Well, if we times everything by 10, and we start with 1, 10, 100, 1,000, and so on and so forth, that is what 100 billion looks like. And it's, well, 100 billion is 100 with 9 zeros, or it's 100 times 1,000 times a million, or if you spell it out, it's 100,000 million. So it's, people visualize and understand numbers in different ways. People give up after, a couple, 3 zeros or so. But 100 billion, 100 times 1,000 times a million, or 100,000 million, 100 billion is a lot. It's a big figure. So let's see how this number, 100 billion, relates to the marketplace here. So first of all, here's silver. So all the silver on the planet right now, give or take a bit, is worth about 17 billion. And then we've got Bitcoin with 100 billion, and the entire cryptocurrency market at 200 billion. So Bitcoin commands actually just over 50% right now of the entire cryptocurrency marketplace. So let's have a look at the biggest companies. Now this actually is about 6, 7, 8, 9 months old. So Apple now, as you know, is a $1 trillion company. It should have 10 of these little squares, but you're getting the idea here. There's a lot of cash out there, and this is just a handful of the biggest companies. Sorry, the richest people in the world. Well, there you go. Jeff Bezos right now with Amazon, and if you think about it, his wealth really came in Internet 2.0. There was the initial move right up through 2002, 2003. And then the dot-com bubble occurred, and out of the 10 trillion that was in the dot-com bubble at the time, a lot of it was taken out, and everyone figured that the market's crashed, the internet's never going to do anything. But it was the second phase of the internet. Once all the bugs had been figured out so far, it's the second phase as well. A lot of these companies made massive, massive profits. Jeff Bezos now with Amazon, using the internet to market his product. Well, he's now got a private rocket system called Blue Horizon, sending rockets up into space, and not just rockets, tourists. Starting next year, apparently, he's going to be sending up tourists at each flight for $300,000 at a pop. Going to orbit around space. Warren Buffett and all these people here, Mark Zuckerberg. This is incredible. I mean, when you look at it, Mark Zuckerberg here, that's 62.9 billion. That's 62,000 million. It's worth a little bit. And he was just sitting around a boardroom table or a table at campus in a university a couple of decades ago, if that. Just incredible. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. California's GDP. Okay, we got the Fed's balance sheet. Here's all the currency in the world: China, Eurozone, rest of the world, USA, Japan, and so on and so forth. That's all the currency in the world. Gold, right, which is money. So we've got private investment, jewelry, others, central banks, the IMF. Stock markets. Now things are beginning to look quite sizable now. So we've got all the stock markets in the world, and this is kind of how all the hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars are in the stock markets. And now we're getting into global money supply. Now the numbers are kind of getting excited. We're into the trillions and trillions now, and the global debt. So yeah, there's a lot of debt out there. What's this one? Real estate. Boom. So residential, commercial, agricultural, real estate, and so on and so forth. And now we come to the heavy player, derivatives. So derivatives. Now, I could not get this image small enough to fit on a screen to take a single shot of it. So I took a screenshot, a screen movie, and scrolled, and you'll see this. So again, don't forget, each one of these is 100 billion or 100,000 million. It's 100 billion, every little square. Now watch this, because it's absolutely fascinating. That was the US above. Keep scrolling, it says. There you go. Finally, we come to the end. And again, Bitcoin is just equivalent to one of these little squares. Now, it's the derivatives market. When this truly opens up for the exchange from derivatives into cryptos, that's when we're going to start seeing some significant movement in the crypto market here. Again, I've just got that playing. So what is the size of the derivative market? Well, it's 1,200 billion. It's a 1.2 quadrillion. That's 1,200 times 1 billion. That's a lot. That's a lot. So Bitcoin cryptocurrency market potential is absolutely, it's unlimited and is set to expand massively once ETF. That's what I did wrong. Someone's been telling me I've done this wrong here, and I'm going to correct that right now. The ETF market. So just bear with me. There we go. I've saved that. Finally, I've been looking for that. Someone says, oh, you got it wrong there. So I've got that right now. Sorry about that. The ETF regulation is passed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. And again, don't forget, Bitcoin is just one of these little squares right now, and the crypto market, currency market is two. So once the ETF regulation is passed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and apparently there's something happening on October the 28th of this year concerning that, and this market truly opens up for the big boys to start moving or exchanging derivatives into crypto, we will see crypto jump very fast and very quickly indeed. And the news on that, September the 13th, just a couple of weeks ago really, was from Bloomberg here. Morgan Stanley plans to offer Bitcoin swap trading for clients. Morgan Stanley plans to offer trading in complex derivatives tied to the largest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. The US bank will deal in contracts that give exposure to the performance of Bitcoin, and Morgan Stanley will charge a fee for each transaction. Additionally, it went on to say that Wall Street's biggest banks are pushing ahead with plans to offer sophisticated derivatives tied to digital assets. That included Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, are also preparing new products tied to Bitcoin. So we've got Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, the whole lot of them are gearing up right now for the regulation to be passed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, getting their exchanges ready to go, or the conduit to be able to exchange derivatives or complex derivatives into cryptos. And once that goes through, cryptos are going to move very, very, very quickly indeed. And we'll see, well, the market is saying trillions moved into Bitcoin very quickly. Now, there's a couple of other things that have been occurring. Canada right now apparently is the third largest hub in the world for blockchain technology. And here, now I'm in Calgary, and there's this little place down the road called Medicine Hat. Now, I've driven through Medicine Hat a couple of times, and that's basically what you do in Medicine Hat. It's on the map, Medicine Hat. Wow, you know, and before you know it, you're looking at Medicine Hat in your rear view mirror going, well, where was it, right? It's a little place in the middle of nowhere. It's the sort of place you sit in your front porch, you can watch your dog run away all day long. But here's a company, Toronto-based Hut 8 has spent more than $100 million to develop a 4.5 hectare site on the northern edge of the city filled with computers that are going to digitally mine Bitcoin 24 hours, 7 days a week. So why do they pick places like this? Because it's cold. You can see here in this picture here, they just open the hutches up and the cold air blows through and keeps the computer cool, and the cooler the computer, the faster the chips run. Ontario and Newfoundland right now are also massive centers for digital mining, and all of them have got special tax incentives and cheap electricity from the suppliers to run their computers. So there's a massive wave of Bitcoin mining facilities in Canada coming up this way because it's cold up here. And that's why. So companies like this don't invest significant funds into things like this unless they're getting prepared for massive movements in the crypto market. Now, this is really fascinating. We got this. This is just a couple of days old, and we should really listen to this. So let's just play this, a couple of minutes long.
Bitcoin is a commodity. How would you classify some of the other cryptocurrencies? CNBC's Bob Pisani is in Washington sitting down with the man who regulates it all, CFTC Chair Chris Giancarlo. Bob, take it away.
Thanks very much, Melissa. Mr. Giancarlo, thanks very much for joining us. Fast Money viewers love hearing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You're the man in charge of regulating that, but there's a lot of questions about regulation. Do you worry that if the U.S. futures, the U.S. does not do more to innovate, that the crypto innovation is going to go overseas. This is a complaint that the crypto bulls constantly push against us. The U.S. has got to go ahead with this or it's going to go offshore.
And yet, it's the United States that's gone forward with the very first Bitcoin derivatives, with Bitcoin futures trading on the CME and also Bitcoin options and Bitcoin clearing. We're ahead of the world in that. So there's no question that the United States is leading in a number of areas, but there's other areas as well of innovation where I think it makes sense for us to take a little bit more of a thoughtful and intelligent approach, just as the U.S. Congress did 20 years ago in the early days of the Internet.
So where do we go from here? Where do you see the Bitcoin market evolving? Go out your crystal ball 2 years from now. What do you see happening?
Well, so 2 years. I personally think that cryptocurrencies are here to stay. I think there is there's a future for them. I'm not sure they ever come to rival the dollar or other hard currencies, but there's a whole section of the world that really is hungry for functioning currencies that they can't find in their local currencies. There's 140 countries in the world. Every one of them has a currency. Probably 2/3 of them are not worth the polymer or the paper they're written on, and those parts of the world rely on hard currencies. Bitcoin may solve some of the problems, whether it's Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency.
Okay, that was interesting. And again, some people phase out while they're listening. So let's listen again to the end portion of this section here.
There's 140 countries in the world. Every one of them has a currency. Probably 2/3 of them are not worth the polymer or the paper they're written on, and those parts of the world rely on hard currencies. Bitcoin may solve some of the problems, whether it's Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency.
So that's what the regulators in the United States are talking about. Regulation and licensing is coming through at a rapid rate right now. And we are in a position here or you absolutely want to make sure that you're in a position to be ahead of the game, be ahead of the wave, so to speak. And here's the big picture, understanding things in context. So this is just a handful of countries around the world that are in financial stress or total breakdown of the currency system. Venezuela being one, Argentina, Brazil is stressed, Nicaragua, Turkey. Turkey has lost 40% of the value of their currency this year. This year, if you had 100,000 in the bank, it's only worth 60,000 now in purchasing power. And so what's going to happen over the next, couple of years, as he says? 2/3 of the 140 countries, the currency is virtually worthless. So millions, if not hundreds of millions of people will exchange into Bitcoin and crypto to avoid collapsing national currencies. The quicker they exchange, the faster they'll be ahead of the game, keeping the value. And that's what's happening. And what's happening out there? Well, we've got education is soaring thanks to big universities like Stanford, CMU, UW. It's estimated that about 100 million people will exchange fiat currency into cryptocurrency over the next couple of years. And universities are now teaching this to the upwardly mobile and the sons and daughters of the rich and famous, because they've got the cash to send them to these sort of universities. So the wealthy elite are already involved and learning how to become involved in this whole system here so they can capitalize far faster. Here's Yale University. This is October the 5th newsletter, news item here. Just raised $400 million. Yale University is getting into the market for cryptocurrencies. The second largest endowment in higher education focused on digital assets raised $400 million. The fund was started by Coinbase, and Yale, whose nearly $30 billion endowment is headed by David Swenson, is a big deal in the financial industry. Is among some of the large institutions to invest in the cryptocurrency marketplace here. So here we have, adoption. Early adopters is where we're right now. And as things move forward, you're going to see that Bitcoin actually starts moving forward here pretty quickly when the adoption goes through, because we've got technology available to us right now in handheld mobiles and so on and so forth that we can take to the marketplace there. So basically, welcome to the team. You've got some knowledge, so let's go out and share this knowledge with others on the team. And the best place to do that, of course, is Crypto Cash Nation. So with that, I think I've kind of finished my presentation here. if you want to stop the presentation, I'll be more than happy to answer, or the video, sorry, I'll be more than happy to answer a couple of questions from people. Okay, if JC is listening here, we can.
I'm listening.
So anybody got any questions?
Are you wanting me to unmute all? Or what is it
Yeah,
you want?
try and unmute all, or at least make them available. We got some new folks on here, Michael J, I think, and Simon's just logged in.
Okay, allow to talk, allow to talk, allow to talk. Okay, you all can unmute yourself now and jump in with comments, questions.
Well, Robin, another awesome presentation. It's just phenomenal. Right place, right time.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, some of these articles that are coming out now, especially these ones I was just showing here, I mean, the world is getting, it's geared up, ready to go fast, really fast. This was a great interview. It was about 20 minutes long, and I've clipped again the bit that they're talking specifically about cryptos and things. But as I say, companies, you know, nicer than that. It's just down the road from Red Deer. And the average person really doesn't get to learn any of this stuff with cable news, media, mainstream media. It's you know, we're lucky to have Crypto Z on board here because he does the research. He's sending me this stuff all the time. And it's a matter of saving and filtering through and getting the important stuff to the marketplace here and following the thread, or having someone to follow the thread, and all we've got to do is follow along. So that's the power of being involved with Crypto Cash Nation, especially with the executive package, because you've got unlimited, virtually, access to Crypto Z in the chat rooms and things. But good comment, thank you.
Yeah, Robin, this is great because again, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of things on purpose. We have to learn how to get control of our own money, and the only way it's going to be happen is through the blockchain and through this and what we're doing. That's why we're so ahead of our time, and people need to get a hold of this and take it seriously because, you know, you do hear in the news, you do hear about the new financial system coming and everything, but there's still fake news, and the powers that, I call them the powers that were now, they don't want us to have access to this because it just, you know, it just does away with their system, the system that's been stealing our money. So
well, exactly. And the more in debt we are, the more they make. So the idea is keep the masses ignorant and keep them in debt.
Yeah, because we live in a debt-based society. That's what we have. It doesn't matter what country you're in. That's the way that it is. But this is gonna change it.
Yeah, and hopefully we're going to help change it. So Michael, I think, has just unmuted himself.
That was Mark. That was Mark.
Oh, sorry, was it? Okay, Michael J, though. No, nothing from Michael J. Okay. Well, that was short and brief. So nobody got any questions or comments on what we've covered? We need to be looking then at, let me just switch over here to...
Robin, I do have a question. This is... will this be in a PDF, these slides that you put up? Is that going to be available in a PDF?
Yeah, we'll make these available at some point in time. Crypto's coming out this way. Crypto Z is coming out this way next week. So we'll be able to have a good power about many things and get up to speed on stuff here, I guess. Where do I want to go? Here we go. There's lots of information now we've got in the educational center, as I've been saying. So again, go through all the back office here. There's all kinds of things on. Well, again, as a PDF, this is going to be a little video. We'll put this video, it's been recorded, will be in the back office for you to share with people too. Okay. So with that then, what have we got? Oh, the reason I came over here actually was this, excuse me, the calendar. So we've got Monday and Tuesday webinars coming up. So we're going to get busy. You know, it's easy to take this copy and paste it and send it to people and invite them to the webinars. Sorry, you had a question there?
No, it's me, Robin. I thought that Monday there was not going to be one because of Thanksgiving there in Canada.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've,
I'll be on.
oh, you will be? Okay. Well, if it's the case, then I will discard the,
Well, talk to Russ about it, but it's just another day for me.
okay, buddy.
One day
Sounds
is the
good.
same as another
Great.
for me. It's just I don't go to I don't have a job, so it doesn't matter to me. It's just another day. Every day is a holiday for me. Zed is unmuted himself. Anything that
Yeah,
Zoltan wants to
I'm
say?
here. Just thanks. I just let the others make any comments or maybe some questions. So I'm not sure, what kind of questions they may have. But I just want to thank you, Robin, for this really excellent kind of visual presentations, which basically radiates a window opportunity for all of us. So the scale, the infographics of the entire world money market should give us at least a little bit of sense what somebody would be missing if not part of this entire kind of transition. And it's not a big word or not exaggerating anything here to say that when Bitcoin will be biting out from this mega or gigantic pie, just let me give you just a mini math example. Right now, as correctly said, Robin said it's 100 billion, a little bit more than 100 billion today, but just for argument's sake. And right now, Bitcoin is $6,500 US. So what would make, let's say 50,000 US a Bitcoin? It will make a $1 trillion market cap. So $1 trillion market cap. It's about 700% gain for Bitcoin. Last December, we already reached almost 20,000. So from here on, even 1 trillion, we'll be basically just 10 little square here, 10 little square, because the entire world market is more than 544, trillion dollars. So again, just translating into our daily activities, because whenever you want to kind of get into a business, and that made me really just kind of on fire when I did see this massive opportunity what the cryptocurrencies may have. So you have to make sure that there is a future. There is an opportunity there to get involved in a business, not just for a month or two, but for basically many years to come. This is even, and that's, I like the CFTC guy when he was speaking, on CNBC a few days ago. He was at least a little bit kind of reserved, more realistic. He was saying that, yes, Bitcoin and the cryptos has a future. But he didn't say that it will completely replace the US dollar. Obviously, he cannot say that. However, we do know that the paper currencies are just doomed to fail, because that's the history is showing us. How it will happen, when it will happen, that's another issue. But when somebody from his kind of position, publicly speaking, yes, that he sees something, we know that, we can read among the lines. Hear the message again translating to us, hey guys, hang on, be patient. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's not Zoltan, Robin, Russ, or whoever, from Crypto Cash Nation is telling you. It is happening. All these news, and our task and my task here is really collecting all these information for you, filtering it, and get a layman kind of translation for us. Like the Yale news this week, in my eyes, this is basically the biggest news, because David Swenson is one of the biggest player in the industry. When Novogratz is saying about David, and Novogratz is, by the way, Goldman Sachs guys who left Goldman and his very handsomely paid job to establish a crypto fund a while ago. When he saw this, and I read, his Twitter accounts, because I'm in contact with him and with some other really influencer in the Bitcoin world. Twitter, by the way, is one of the best to get these information. And he was highly, speaking about David Jensen, and just you need to look into his history. Why Yale again? And Harvard and Yale, these are the two mega institutes, not just because of their reputation, but they influence over the other institutions, because now the mass, the people, the crowd will follow suit. It is a reinforcement of the trust in the crypto worlds, and 2/3 of that $30 billion, will be going into the crypto funds in the next few years. So, and these universities, they are planning ahead, not just for 1 month, not just for 1 quarter. And then it's not just, that the shareholders are pushing them. They have strategic planning ahead of us. So I don't know what else it can lend us, our own trust. And sitting down with people and speaking about that. You cannot go wrong with it. You have now enough, I believe, enough ammunition, visually, fact-wise, not fake news, fact. These countries, what we have seen here, and once again, a credit goes to Robin in terms of the visuals and everything. I enjoy kind of working with him to present you the best visuals and content in the crypto world, so that everyone can relate, number one, and understand. And if you don't, then please ask us. We will be more than happy to kind of address this. And number two, use this, when you have a conversation with someone, and someone is saying that Bitcoin is a bubble. This is not there. Why are you saying it? We are not saying that, hey, come on and buy Bitcoin. We just sharing these facts, and let the facts, let the development, the events work for you. So you are lending the credibility of these sources, banking sources, other financial, political sources. I think last week, Robin mentioned, the Maltese prime minister, who for the first time was speaking in the General Assembly of the United Nations about the cryptocurrency as the future of money. So use these, be in that case, kind of creative, innovative. You may create your own, mini kind of presentation for yourself. Even it doesn't have to be that long what we have here. Just pick up a few of these things when you sit down with someone for a kind of napkin presentations. Yeah, these should speak volume for that. And then let the information sink in, and let them, digest it. Maybe the time is not right for them. And Russ knows much better than me and all my beloved administrators, within Crypto Cash Nation, how to do that. That's how I would do. Because, there is nothing better than, obviously, your personal story. And then if you don't have it, then use these type of sources. The very last thing, it is October 26th. Please write this down. October 26th is the day now to look for, when the SEC, this is brand new information, so we didn't even have time to include it in our presentation. I already sent it to Robin, but we are working basically day and night, always kind of updating these things for all of us. But yeah, it is there. Kindly just, put it up. Super, Robin. So this is now the latest one where we are expecting, some sort of, decisions from the SEC. This is a good news, because before that they declined. Then the next was when they delayed, and now they already set up, another date. Obviously, they can make still kind of get delayed this or postpone, but the closer we get to this point, and I can see that now even what I want to say is that the other one is coming out in November. And I was speaking about it on our Slack channel, on our executive, kind of talk last week. But I can see now a kind of time coincidence, so to speak, among the big boys. So let's not forget, they may not want to kind of miss out this opportunity. It looks like now the midterm, the elections in the States is getting there. So they are just kind of preparing everything. So when they got some kind of green line from top, they can make the decisions. They did their homework, and then the Q4 can really perform as expected. To what extent, again, it's no need to go that it will be 10,000 or 15,000. Here, we should be concerned by the positive trends, which is generated by the positive news around the industry and not the negative news. And then when it will kick in, that will be really a fast kind of movement, and we will be just on our own. A kind of logistics or home rules, or we reviewed with Russ, the executive kind of conversation or review, and instead of Saturdays, we will be making.
Bondpicks.com, and I teach people how to trade stocks. Now I use 3.
Oh, I didn't know what it was. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that the next executive overview will be on the 16th at 5 o'clock Vancouver time. We will be sending out the information to those who are concerned, but on the 16th, on Tuesday, 5 o'clock our time, Vancouver time, this is PST, at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So it's a little bit better time-wise, and we realized that Saturday is part of the weekends, so it probably would work better for all of us. And next Monday, as I know, there won't be a presentation because of the Canadian Thanksgivings, but it may change. But let's wait for the kind of official announcement from Russ or JC. So with that, I want to kind of wish happy Thanksgivings to our Canadian friends, and just our regular good wishes to all of our members and friends around the world. Thank you.